let's go ahead and get started. Hello and welcome as we head snap to school. My name's Adam Parker here with Carnegie, and I'm excited to welcome Michelle from Snapchat. As all of us get older, we often ponder the best ways to communicate and engage with prospective students and really all those that are younger than us. So I'm excited for this session as we learn exactly how to communicate with Gen Z more than 10 seconds at a time. I want to share a few quick reminders. This session is being recorded and will be distributed after. Additionally, I encourage you all to be social. Please direct all conversations and questions into the Whova chat at the right-hand side of your screen. I will be answering all questions, or as many as we can get to, at the end of the session. So as they come up, feel free to throw those in, and I will make sure that we can address as many as possible towards the end. Obviously, we have limited time here. So if there are any questions or comments that arise after the session, please reach out to us or Snapchat directly and tag Carnegie HQ on social with any key takeaways that you have. With that, I'm excited to pass the baton over to Michelle to really dive in.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. And thanks everyone for joining on this final day of the conference. My name is Michelle Sung, and I've been with Snapchat for over 2 years as an account executive on the education accounts. So today, as Adam mentioned, we're going to talk about this generation of future students, who they are, what they're doing, and how to reach them in a meaningful and impactful way. So Adam mentioned this earlier, we're going to save the questions until the end. Or if you're more comfortable reaching out in like a one-to-one environment, my email is available here. So that said, we'll kind of dive into it. I want to introduce you guys to McKenna, Paulina, and Lauren. Here's McKenna's contact info with my dog, Paulina's Instagram, and Lauren's LinkedIn. 3 seemingly random people. So what ties them all together? Meet the Gus and Bandit fan club, nicknamed after our dogs. It's our group chat. Snapchat likes to call us legends, and we're all part of something called the Founders Club. We were early adopters of Snapchat, and we've grown with the platform. We're chatting about anything and everything, the most recent hot topic being little Gus's birthday. And despite us being spread out across the country over the past few years, we're completely plugged into each other's day-to-day, and it feels like nothing has really changed. All that said, I introduced you guys to my friends to show you, 1, how important friendships are to the average person, and 2, why our users, the Snapchatters, behave differently on our platform. People communicate very differently depending on who they are interacting with. What I post publicly and make available to the world is going to be really different than what I post or share in the Gus and Bandit fan club. You can call it like social norms or etiquette, but it's really all rooted in the fact that through our lives, we all establish a core group of people that know and care about us. They want the best for us. And as a result, we're able to share our true selves with them, our true thoughts, and we trust them. Snapchat is what we call the antidote to social media, traditional social media. It's not about going viral, the TikTok dance, or just mindlessly scrolling. We're a platform where our users communicate with their close network without that extra layer of pressure of looking a certain way, looking perfect, or being popular. It's where our users connect with those who matter the most to them, and they exist in a place where they can freely share their life's moments with their closest circle. Snapchat captures and enhances those everyday moments, both big and small, the highs and the lows, the mundane and the personal. Majority of our users report that staying connected with their friends and family is their #1 reason for using the platform. Gus and Bandit Fan Club was my personal example of the relationships and communications taking place on Snapchat. We found in a recent study that our friends, the people that we're interacting with throughout our day, are some of the most powerful influencers in our lives. It's not the, fitness influencer, it's not an Instagrammer, it's our friends and family. Snapchatters are actively including their friends in the decision-making process, even when they're not together. and they're always looking out for their friends. They're more likely to act on what they see, like recommending brands. And I say all of this because this holds true within the education vertical. Beyond available funds, friends and family have the greatest influence on a Snapchatter's education and development decisions. So it might be a simple question, like, why do we trust our friends? It's because they know us the best. They've seen us at our highs and our lows. They know what we like and what we're looking for, and maybe sometimes what we need. And the best part about this friendship and trust is that we know they're not selling us on anything. So let me introduce you now to the Snapchat generation. Globally, we just reached 406 million daily active users, marking an increase of 12% year over year. That's incredible growth. We really took off during the pandemic when people were kind of separated and isolated, and we've been able to kind of maintain that growth throughout. We're actually able to reach 75% of 13 to 34-year-olds in multiple markets, with US being one of them. Our users are super leaned into the app, and on average, they're opening up Snapchat up to 40 times per day. If any of you guys are Snapchat users, I'd be super curious to see if you're like able to count through the day and see if it comes close to that. But I just think that's a super interesting stat on how engaged and active our users are. And that 40 times a day, here's the why and the how. The 5 core screens that serve different purposes for our community of users. They're finding their friends on the map, staying connected in chat, engaging with the world around them in camera, consuming partner content like this, or exploring fresh content in Spotlight. Across the screens, Snapchatters are in a happy environment built on relationships and connecting with their friends and family, and fueled by the different types of engagement that we offer on our platform. And when it comes to Gen Z, 71% are in Discover, consuming content like this on the far left from Bitmoji stories. 90% are in the camera, immersing themselves in AR. And as we talked about before, they're here to interact with their close circles. 89% are keeping up with each other by watching their friends' stories. That's one of my buddies, Joe, at a little mini golfing range. And with our continuous growth in DAU, our users' desire to connect with their friends, it's not really a surprise that there are 5 billion snaps sent every single day. Your future students are on Snapchat communicating, whether it's visually or through text. So 5 billion snaps. Let's dive into that group chat. What is the big topic here? Our users are talking about education year-round. This chart shows how school trends on the platform. Value of 100 is the peak relative popularity for that term. Education is very top of mind for our Snapchatters, even when we compare it to someone like Taylor Swift, even when we compare it to someone like Bad Bunny. It's not that Snapchatters aren't dialed into their music or their pop culture, because here's what happens when we remove school from the equation. It just all pales in comparison to how much Snapchatters are talking about schooling and education. I just want to let that sink in. And I know there may have been better examples, but those have just been top of mind for me, given everything that's going on with football and the Jetters. And this all makes sense because the younger set on the platform understand the value of education. They're interested in continuing their education because they understand the value of the degree. And for those already in college, there's a high level of interest and consideration for furthering their education. And when we talk about what those conversations look like visually, here's an example of a day in the life of a Snapchat student. There are the big moments that we talked about, first day of school, homecoming fit check, celebrating at a pep rally. I think we've all been here in terms of having a meltdown over midterms or finals, and then finally crossing that finish line at graduation. And then, like I said, it's not just for the big moments, it's for the everyday, the mundane, and the average. These are the small moments in between for our students. People are having conversations about their education and their futures because something like, should I further my education, is a question we can trust only our core group with. It's not something that you're going to go up to a stranger and look for advice on. You're going to have multiple conversations about it. You're going to lean on your friends. You're going to lean on your family. You're going to talk to people that you actually know and understand. So that said, what does that mean for brands and schools? So how can you guys build this relationship with the future students on Snapchat? Impactful video is a necessity in 2023 and beyond. The screens are getting smaller and becoming mobile. You can see here that more Gen Z and millennials are watching mobile videos than watching TV every single day. And this is a way to make impact. Another thing that we like to call out is being innovative and breaking through the clutter. I think in this day and age, what was like this banner blindness has kind of translated into social media as well. So AR, it's an immersive experience and a popular one. Over 250 million users engage with AR every single day. And 97% of Snapchatters have used visual communication when messaging their friends. So building a strategy around a camera-first mentality will help schools and brands connect with Snapchatters. Your AR lens could be one of the 5 billion snaps sent every single day that produces that domino effect of conversation, recommendation, and or consideration. And we also have the numbers to back up how impactful AR can truly be. Beyond, just measuring things like impressions, views, or clicks is attentive seconds. Attentive seconds is a metric that helps us understand the true power of advertising or inventory quality across different channels. And according to Dentsu's Lumen eye tracking technology, Snapchat's commercials, which is our video ad unit, and AR formats outperform all other platforms as it relates to attentive seconds. AR lenses on Snapchat, in fact, actually outperformed all other media formats ever tested by Dentsu. Other platforms would need approximately 14 to 20 ads to be able to generate the same level of attention as Snapchat AR lenses are able to do. And in terms of how to speak to this audience, crafting like the right message for the right audience, understand their wants and needs. They want to better themselves for the future. And that means this for our Snapchatters. Successful, being financially secure, learning a new skill, and continuing to challenge themselves. So present yourselves as the path to that future. Feature the unique value propositions your school or program offers to capture their attention and get them talking about it. And these are the things that when we surveyed 16 to 20-year-olds on Snap, that's what they agreed on as being important to them in their future. So by appearing as our users move through the different screens that we showed you, whether it's looking at a friend's story or capturing a moment in the camera, you're setting up your brand and message to be a part of the conversation. And advertising is just no longer about just being visible. For this new generation, you have to build that connection and you have to speak their language. Be where meaningful conversation is taking place. So if there is one takeaway, it's really how important relationships are, especially on Snapchat. Brands and schools need to connect with their audience. And it's not about looking perfect or being popular. It's about that connection, that relationship we build on the platform, because our users are looking to do just that. There is an inherent trust in the ways they interact and engage on our platform. Real relationships have real influence. So thank you guys. I know this was a short session, but thank you guys so much for joining the session today.
Michelle, really enjoy that captivating session thus far. There were a few questions that did come in, so if you're open to it,
Yeah.
would love to ask you some questions.
Absolutely.
Obviously, a lot of our audience works in higher ed, and higher ed is known for having our very extravagant budgets. So the question is, do you recommend advertising on Snapchat, or would you recommend focusing more on creating content to be used on Snapchat?
I think advertising on Snapchat to make sure you're able to target the right audience, because I think that concept of creating content kind of relies on the idea of being able to go viral somewhere, right? For people to develop things or discover things organically. So advertising on Snap, I think the whole premise of this is the fact that our users are already in this mindset of wanting to further and pursue their education. So meeting them there, because our ads come up in between content, whether it's user stories or within our premium partner content. I think being visible within those settings and being available at the right time when people are communicating with others on the app is really important.
Perfect. Appreciate that. So obviously, a lot of times in higher ed, a lot of our audiences was leveraging the paid geo filters that they could have on campus around, especially visit day options, as they were really popular. Do you have any insight or any insight into whether paid geo filters will ever be back or ever be a feature that would be available to our audience?
I wish I had enough pull within Snapchat to just say, hey, bring this back. Unfortunately, I don't. Geo filters, I don't think will be coming back as a form of paid advertising on Snapchat. However, there are a couple really exciting things in the 2024 roadmap that are kind of similar. We're going to have post-capture AR lenses that are going to be available early next year. Those would be that as similar as possible. And then you guys could hone in on the targeting by narrowing it down to specific cities, like your college city.
Perfect. Appreciate that. At the beginning of the session, you shared a lot of Snapchat data about how active, especially 13 to 34-year-olds were, which I do not dispute those statistics in any capacity because I know I check Snapchat all too often.
Adam, are you
But
part of the DAU?
I am part of your DMA for sure. Do you have any, the question is around like data, especially some of our audience members are logging in from around the world. So are there any resources or places they could go to check data on either the United States or Europe on how Snapchat fares with especially adult age students, 25 to 35, for instance?
Yeah, I think your best resource is going to be me. So I think Adam can always share out my contact info after the session, but I would say reaching out to me directly would be your best bet, just because I think in external facing reporting, we don't necessarily maybe do subcuts that you're looking for.
Okay, perfect. Unless I see any other questions, just let me look through this one more time. That appears to be all the questions. So Michelle, I sincerely appreciate your time and insight here and engagement with the audience. I know everyone in our audience, whether they're on Snapchat or looking to leverage Snapchat for their institution, appreciate your insight. And I'll be sure to share out your contact information if anybody has direct contact with you if they have questions. As we depart today, Michelle, do you have any closing remarks or parting words?
No, just thanks again for having me as part of the speaker. I know that there could be some questions that you guys might be afraid to ask, or if there's a little bit more of like the foundational things that you want to ask me about, feel free to reach out. It truly is my job, and I'm happy to help answer any questions that may come up.
Yeah. Appreciate that, and appreciate our attendees today for helping us engage throughout the session. Next up, we're going to be presenting a case study, so make sure to take a break, kick back, grab a coffee, and come back at noon today for our next section. Also, be sure to engage, so tag, comment, and share at Carnegie HQ. Thank you, everyone, for attendance, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.